be too proud of this technological terror you constructed. The ability to destroy a playset is insignificant against the power of a toy collector.
Hello toy fans, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Analog Toys YouTube channel and the feature of today's vintage toy review, Kenner's Death Star space station from the Star Wars toy line. In the Star Wars saga, the Death Star was the Empire's ultimate planet-destroying weapon, a symbol of their galactic dominance.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
Standing by.
Red 2, standing by.
The Death Star was epic in both scale and reputation, and when Kenner was tasked with recreating it for the Star Wars toy line, they showed every other toy manufacturer in the world that the standard for action figure playsets had been set, and the bar was high.
Look at the size of that thing.
Here's the new Star Wars Death Star space station that you put together. Action figures each sold separately.
Darth Vader's firing a laser cannon. It's been hit. He's after Luke. Take the elevator. Hurry! Now cross the light bridge. You won't escape me. Jump, Luke. Oh no, the trash compactor. There's a trash monster. The wall's closing. Save!
Kenner's new Star Wars Death Star space station. Action figures each sold separately.
Growing up in England, I was never aware of Kenner's Death Star space station as a child because it was never released in the UK. Us British kids had to make do with Palitoy's cardboard version, which was extremely different. I first discovered Kenner's Death Star space station at a toy fair in Western Sydney, and I couldn't help but wonder what I missed out on as a child. This playset is utterly epic. Kenner's Death Star was designed as a pie-sliced representation of the space station, which featured 4 different levels of action-packed play value.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
The design of Kenner's Death Star was based on Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, and the designers really did their best effort to incorporate as many play features as possible directly related to the movie. In fact, Kenner packed so much into this playset that it's actually very difficult to know where to start with this review. I guess I'll try and cover each play feature chronologically as it happened in the film. To enable the action figures to reach the different levels, an elevator shaft was included. The elevator could be stopped and locked in place on each level, and if Ben Kenobi travelled all the way to the top level, he could deactivate the tractor beam ready for their escape. Once Han, Chewie and Luke had rescued Princess Leia, they could escape the pursuing stormtroopers by diving through the hatch into the Death Star trash compactor. One of the great features of this playset was that the trash compactor could actually be removed and become its own miniature playset. Once in the trash compactor, Luke had to do his very best to escape the clutches of the Dying Ogre trash monster. Kenner utilised soft foam to represent the space station trash, but unfortunately this perishes over time, and it's practically impossible to find the original foam today. The trash compactor also featured a large crank handle that could be used to close in the walls, and just like in the movie, our favourite heroes had to shut down the garbage masher before getting out through the escape hatch. My favourite level could be used to recreate one of the most iconic Star Wars scenes of all time, the infamous rope swing across the Death Star bridge. The playset included a retractable bridge and a very small blue plastic rope, which is the most easily lost part of the entire playset. Using the rope, Luke and Leia could swing across the Death Star, but no matter how hard a child tried, recreating this on the playset was never going to be as dramatic as it was in the movie. The 4th and final level of the Death Star featured a massive laser cannon, and I can imagine kids using this level to recreate the destruction of the Death Star. If Luke's X-Wing fighter were on target, the laser cannon would explode, signalling the end of the Death Star. As awesome as this playset is, there are a few negative features that I must discuss, and unfortunately, these will affect the overall score for the toy. Firstly, the stickers. Kenner never included an instruction sheet explaining where all the stickers were supposed to go. A few of them can be identified from the packaging, but I guess they left it up to a kid's imagination as to where they put them all, and years later this can be an absolute nightmare for a toy collector with OCD. Secondly, Kenner never designed the playset to include a prisoner cell for Princess Leia. Many collectors believe that the golden age of action figure playsets started with Kenner's Death Star, and considering all the 80s playsets that followed that included a prisoner cell, it's surprising that the granddaddy that inspired them all never had one itself. How easy would it be for Luke to rescue Princess Leia if she couldn't be locked up in the first place? Thirdly, cardboard. I utterly despise the use of cardboard in action figure playsets. It doesn't last, and any cardboard additions usually just make the overall toy look that bit cheaper. Lastly, I need to talk about the overall construction. The complex design of this playset, coupled with the types of materials used, resulted in a playset that is incredibly fragile, and finding mint unbroken examples on today's secondary market is very difficult. This has resulted in an extremely costly toy to collect, and one that would not have lasted long in a child's hands. Having said all that, I truly feel that Kenner had their heart in the right place when they designed the Death Star playset. Unfortunately, their ambition far exceeded what was possible at the time in terms of production. Overall, Kenner's Death Star space station is a thing of beauty, and makes the ultimate display piece when showcasing your vintage action figures. I score this toy 3.5 out of 5. So that's our review of Kenner's Death Star space station. Did you agree with our score? Leave us a comment in the section below, and don't forget to click subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos featuring vintage toys.